Okay, so yesterday I posted a video of trying to make a hybrid ISO file for AneoEngine. I have an unreleased video because it was gonna be a showcase of my of pretty much this, but I failed and I'm missing a crucial part. So let me show you something. So if I run this. Okay, so the first thing you might see, obviously we have a new build script. So let me show you something, okay? In order for it to be a hybrid ISO file, a proper ISO9660 file, I need to make another bootloader. So if I go into boot right here, I have two bootloaders. I have boot.asm and FI boot. FI stands for floppy image. In order to make an ISO9660 bootable image, for you have to have a bootloader, but the bootloader only works for CD-ROMs. CD-ROM bootloader works just fine, but the USB bootloader didn't work because I have to make another bootloader. So I have two bootloaders. I have this one, which is the original one. If I go to we have kernel from CD-ROM, and if I go to FI boot.asm, and I show you, I have hard disk to solid state media. Now let me show you something. So in order to make the ISO9660 file proper, you need to add the bootloader and then the kernel. But you also need to add the floppy image bootloader on top of it. Now that's not a problem, right? Because after you compile out, but you have to make it after the ISO, but that's still not a problem. Here's the thing though, okay? Both the bootloader and the floppy image bootloader, all the size remain constant until you upgrade. Like the kernel sectors, you probably have to add more lines to it, whatever. You change that at some point, but you don't change it like every time you compile or you build it. Here's the thing though, the kernel is constantly expanding. So it matters what kind of offset or sectors you put the floppy image bootloader at, because kernel sectors, it overrides the kernel. So let me show you something, okay? I have a new build script. So I put all the existing stuff into a build function, okay? And I also shortened this so it's better. So watch this, okay? So it adds this bootloader to an image file. The image file is pretty much what I was having. It wasn't a proper ISO9660 file, but now I have a proper one with a Gen ISO, So what it does is it builds it to find what the kernel, like what size the kernel is, finds the kernel LBA, sets it to the offset divided by like 512 or something. And what it does is it literally changes the source code. It pretty much patches what the LBA should be in FI boot.asm. So then after it builds it just to find the kernel LBA, it rebuilds it for the final image. And I also have two features. Without any arguments, it just builds the ISO. With -RC1, it runs it as a CD-ROM. -RC2 runs it as a drive. So if I do this, it's gonna build it again. But if we do RC1, we have this AneoEngine bootloader reading kernel from CD-ROM. Kernel found. Press any key to continue. Press the key. It works. Nothing is overwritten. Because if it was overwritten, you know it's overwritten. Like if the kernel was corrupted, but the bootloader still found a way to boot the actual kernel, this would just be this would all be like a bunch of ASCII characters that are corrupted. Because that's happened to me multiple times. I'm pretty sure you already know how that happens. Because it overrides VGA text or whatever. This is RC2. It runs it as hard disk. As you can see, I'll redo it again to show you the bootloader. It reads the kernel from hard disk solid state media. So there's two bootloaders. If you run it as a hard disk, it reads it from there. So it's the same exact kernel. Nothing has changed. Literally nothing has changed. Let me show you an example. So I do have a CD-ROM bootloader, but I do have a CD-ROM. I have a CD rewrite drive, but I don't want to disconnect it to show you. But just believe me, it works. Okay, believe me, the CD-ROM works. I actually did try it out with this. I have a CD I tried it out with, and that works just fine. That because obviously everyone knows that the ISO60 file, the CD-ROM bootloader works perfectly fine. The thing that was the hard part was the floppy image, because oh my god, the floppy image bootloader was the hardest thing probably of the entire project. I'm not gonna lie. It took me 2 days to figure that out. But hey, I'm the creator of AneoEngine, so like, hey, I mean, that's something. Let me show you. I have my my ThinkPad T40. I have a ThinkPad T430U. It's pre-owned. I got it just for AneoEngine development. In fact, here's the USB I've been using. This right here is the holy USB. This USB is what I use. Let me just show you. I use this USB like I have my Pentium 4 boots it natively, but it only boots it off of a USB that's just in there permanently. But this is the one I use for testing. I test on my Pentium 4. I replace the USB sometimes. I really hope it's not like. So I'm gonna have to unmount it. Oh yeah, I changed the name from CD-ROM to I changed the name from CD-ROM, so GenISO now generates the media as AneoEngine media as the name. So yeah, it doesn't do it for like the if you plug it into the BIOS, it still reads it as like SanDisk, cruiser dial, whatever, generic USB. It doesn't actually change the firmware because I don't know how to do that. I spent like an hour pretty much on the internet trying to figure out how to do that thing where you put it in and it, you know how it says Ubuntu when you plug it in, but like if it's a USB, which my USB, it says generic USB. I want it to be like AneoEngine media or whatever. But apart from that, I'll wipe the file system because for some reason when I re-flash it, it still keeps the same like disk name. I don't know why, it just does. So I'm gonna wipe the file system. That's gone. Reflash it. SDA exists. I'm gonna be posting all my scripts. Here we go. AneoEngine media. Everything works. I don't know how to remove this. I want it so where it doesn't like why is it doing this? Like what? Like what? Anyways, I'm gonna eject it. I'm gonna show you what happens when I'm gonna do it. So here's my ThinkPad T430U. I got it pre-owned just for AneoEngine testing. I mean, what else would I use it for? I already have a ThinkPad. And don't say that the E series is trash, okay? Have a ThinkPad, just have a ThinkPad, nothing else. Just like I use Ubuntu just to use Ubuntu, okay? I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass what my Linux distro is, okay? Cause like all these Arch monkeys say, oh, I use Arch by the way, all these Gentoo monkeys come in here, oh, I can compile everything from scratch. Who cares, man? All these Windows users too. Like, I mean, the Windows users aren't that bad. I'm talking about the Windows users on Reddit, okay? They're like toxic, and they don't care about anything, okay? Anyway, let me show you. So, wait, I just saw my whatever. Okay, so, USB HDD. And we're gonna boot that up. There we go. It says, don't know if you could see it, but so you can't see it, but it works. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Goodbye.